Time now to get to some trader tricks and treats in our Trader Game Top That Trade. Today, our ghoulish players are Phil Flynn, a Fox Business Network contributor, and Alan Nachman of Agora Financial. Round number one, scared money. What scares you more, being in the market and losing or being out of the market and not winning?
Well, what I'm afraid of is people don't know the difference. There's a huge difference. It's like going to the store and buying something on sale. You're not actually saving money. You're still spending money. So let's look at it. If you're out of the market, it doesn't cost you anything. You can always get back in. But I'm afraid a lot of times people are too committed mentally to actually being in the market. And if they lose money, they lose money. But they'd rather be there and lose money than not be there, which to me is scary.
I think it's real scary to not be in the market at all, because let's face it, if people weren't in the market, they missed out on a heck of an opportunity.
Round number two, fear factor fears. The VIX is half of what it was in March. Why are people so afraid now?
I think the biggest thing about fear is that there's so many headlines that we don't know about. Uncertainty about the election. What is that going to mean for tax policies? What is it going to mean for your property taxes? What if we get another COVID shutdown? These are all the things that are making people nervous right now. And the uncertainty of not knowing is worse than knowing. You know, it's just like the movie. When you know the end, it's not as scary, you know, but when they boop and come out at you, that's when you got to be scared.
So the fear of fear itself, and that's what Phil's hitting on, is uncertainty. But if you look at it numerically, we're in a much, much, much better position than we were earlier this year. And the VIX being at, the 30-40 level is not catastrophic. Now, let's see how it reacts here in the near term. But what I'm encouraged by is that so many people are afraid, because usually the masses have it wrong. So if everybody's afraid that something dramatic is going to happen, then that probably is a good sign that nothing will.
Is that like when you're watching the witch's cauldron boil and it never does? I mean, waiting for it to boil. It never does.
Does a witch's pot ever boil?
I've never seen it.
It never boils.
Never seen it. No.
Round number three, safety sack. What do you do to turn any market into a trick or a treat?
You can always, look at some ways to hedge yourself and protect yourself so you can sleep well. You want to find a sleep well strategy. For me, that's using options. I'm looking at March and even June options now that have plenty of time. So there's not just a total binary event and they're not going to go to zero. They have plenty of time for recovery and profitability. So think big picture. And I'm looking at gold calls, looking at interest rate calls. So there's a lot of things that will benefit if there's continued volatility in the market.
I hope when I go trick or treating, I get a brick, okay? A gold brick maybe, right? I think Ellen's right. I mean, gold might be one of these things that go up. And kind of interesting, you talk about the hard numbers when it comes to the political dynamic. Usually after a presidential election, gold prices go up. I saw one survey that says if the Democrats get control of the Congress and the Senate and the White House, generally gold in the past has gone up 20%. That's the numbers. If the Republicans get control, it's a lot less, but it still goes up about 7%.
So you're saying gold goes up?
Gold generally goes up after a presidential election. History bears this out. The data bears it out. And, the bottom line is that when you look at what's happening in the globe right now, why is gold so attractive? Because the government's spending a lot of money. And whoever gets elected, I think they're going to be spending more, not less. That's usually good for gold.
For your bonus round question today, can you name the most popular Halloween candy this year?
So I'm thinking candy corn. I hate it. I hate it, but candy corn.
Yeah, candy corn was last year. So just to be different, I'm going to say Twix.
Well, according to Retail Me Not, the answer is Reese's. And coming in with a close second, M&M's.
Yum. There you go. E.T., I want to go home.
Use Reese's on a s'more. It's a new trick.
No winners today, but there's always next year, guys. And we win because it's always a treat to have you on the show. Business First AM continues right after this. Check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.